Ryan Garcia is once again calling for a rematch with Rolando "Raleigh" Romero, holding firm to belief that his loss to him last May was not a true reflection of his abilities. Garcia insists that the performance fans saw that night was far from his best, claiming that injuries to both of his hands severely limited what he could do in the ring. According to him, he wasn't able to throw his punches the way he normally does, and as a result, he couldn't execute the game plan he had prepared. Despite the criticism he has faced for his lack of activity in the fight, he maintains that he deserves another opportunity to face Romero so he can show what he is really capable of when fully healthy. From a promotional standpoint, however, the idea of revisiting that matchup has already been dismissed. Oscar de la Hoya, Garcia's promoter, has no interest in putting together a Garcia-Romero rematch. Instead, the most appealing. From a business perspective, a bout with Lopez is far more lucrative and marketable, promising bigger pay-per-view numbers and greater global interest than a repeat meeting with Romero, whose star power doesn't match Lopez's. Garcia took to social media to explain why things went so wrong against Romero, pointing to both his injuries and a poor training camp. "I don't want to make no excuses, but I did have 2 major hand problems. That's why I couldn't let go of any of my punches. On top of it, I had a really bad training camp, and that's just the truth," he said. But despite his explanation, many fans remain unconvinced. To them, his story sounds like an excuse to cover up what they saw as a mental collapse under pressure. Rather than fighting through adversity, they believe Garcia allowed fear to dictate his actions in the ring. Their suspicions were heightened by what happened in the mainly by a sharp left hook counter from Romero that sent him to the canvas. From that moment on, his aggression vanished. Fans noticed that he threw far fewer punches, often choosing to circle the ring or tie up rather than exchange with Romero. Over the course of 12 rounds, his output remained low, and he never seemed willing to take the risks needed to turn the fight around. To many, this wasn't just about injured hands. It was about a fighter unwilling to engage when faced with a real threat of being knocked out. Compounding the situation is the lack of interest from Turki Alashik, one of the most influential figures in the boxing world today. Alashik has shown no public desire to put his financial backing behind a second Garcia-Romero fight. If he thought the rematch had the potential to sell, he likely would have already made a move to secure it. Instead, the attention is matchups. A Garcia Devin Haney rematch or a fight with Teofimo Lopez would draw far more interest from both fans and broadcasters, meaning Garcia's career path is likely to be steered toward those options, whether he personally wants them or not. Garcia himself admits that his performance against Romero was well below the standard he holds for himself. "I didn't even watch it because I was disgusted with myself, because I never fought like that in my life. I don't never not throw punches. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna come in and throw my stuff. I just had a really off night," he said. Still, his critics have been relentless. They have called him spoiled and accused him of lacking the grit that great fighters display when they are in trouble. In their eyes, even in a losing effort, he should have been willing to throw caution to the wind and take his chances with one of his signature left hooks that, they say, the outcome. Garcia has countered that outside a few difficult rounds, Romero didn't really do anything. But for many fans, that claim rings hollow after watching him spend most of the fight on the defensive. The aftermath of the Romero fight has left a noticeable dent in Ryan Garcia's reputation. Before the bout, he was seen as one of boxing's brightest young stars, a fighter with explosive hand speed, sharp timing, and the kind of social media presence that could bring in fans far beyond the sport's traditional audience. But his unwillingness to engage in the Romero fight has cast doubt on whether he has the heart and toughness needed at the highest level. Even though Garcia continues to insist that his injuries played the biggest role in the performance, the optics of what fans saw in the ring are hard to shake. In boxing, perception often matters just as much as reality, and right now is down when things got difficult. This perception problem has also created challenges in rebuilding fan trust. Many of Garcia's supporters were left frustrated, not just because he lost, but because it looked like he never truly tried to win. The spectacle of a fighter refusing to throw punches for most of the bout is rare, and has made some fans question whether they want to pay to watch him again. In the modern boxing landscape, where fighters depend heavily on pay-per-view buys and sponsorship deals, losing the faith of your audience can have long-term consequences. Garcia will need to deliver an electric performance in his next outing if he hopes to win back the crowd. From a promotional standpoint, the Romero fight has also complicated negotiations for future bouts. Promoters and investors won't put their money into fights they believe will deliver excitement, drama, and a line that will hold viewers. If Garcia can't convince the boxing world that he will show up ready to fight no matter the circumstances, there's a risk that promoters will hesitate to put him in marquee events. That could explain why Oscar de la Hoya is so keen to steer Garcia toward matchups like Teofimo Lopez, fights that carry built-in hype, and give Garcia a chance to redeem himself on a big stage. The role of Oscar de la Hoya in this situation cannot be understated. As Garcia's promoter, his job is to maximize Ryan's market value while protecting his long-term career. De la Hoya knows that a second fight with Romero offers limited financial upside, especially when compared to potential windfall from a fight with Lopez or a rematch. By steering Garcia toward bigger names, De La Hoya is betting that a dramatic comeback win over a high-profile opponent will erase the memory of the Romero fight in the minds of fans. But that strategy also comes with risk. If Garcia looks hesitant again, it could cement the doubts that are already growing. Turki Al-Shika's silence on the matter also speaks volumes. As one of the biggest financial backers in boxing today, Al-Shik has been quick to put his support and money behind fights he believes will draw global interest. His lack of enthusiasm for a Garcia Romero rematch suggests he sees little upside in revisiting a fight that left many fans dissatisfied. Instead, his focus appears to be on matchups that can deliver both competitive intrigue and commercial success. Without his financial muscle behind it, a Romero rematch becomes even less likely to happen.